I've filmed over 300 videos, and whenever I film a video in this room, it always gets terrible views. So if you're watching this, you're a real one because the lighting is terrible in here, and YouTube will randomly choose a thumbnail. And because the thumbnail is ass because of the lighting, these videos never get views. So if you're watching this, you're about to get a gem, and you're gonna get rewarded for clicking on this video because I want to start not a mini series, but just like an educational series on stuff that I'm learning as I transition into what I would like to call real ecom. I'm officially entering real ecom, because I've learned a lot. Watch my most recent video if you'd like to hear more about it. But what I've learned today is what we're going to talk about, and that is market sophistication levels, desires, and identity. And so I've heard about market sophistication in the past. I didn't really understand what it meant till today, and I fully understand it now, which is really exciting, and it really makes sense. I have to switch this light. Boom. So I got sent the Evolve course, and I was going through it, and market sophistication is basically how sophisticated is the market. Okay, no shit. Okay, basically it's like what products, what solutions, what other brands has your customer already seen before you, right? So what already exists on the market, and there's 5 stages of it. So just as there's 5 stages of market awareness, there's 5 stages of sophistication. The first stage is bringing a completely new product to the market, something that hasn't ever been there before. So I'm going to use an example of a skateboard because there was this guy in my Twitter DMs today who created a skateboard, and I'm thinking about his skateboard because it really clicked when I was thinking about market sophistication and how he was a stage 1 or a stage 2 sophistication level because he brought a skateboard to the market that hadn't existed before. Okay, so basically first thing is a skateboard, level 1. Let's say the skateboards don't exist and you literally just bring a skateboard to the market. Like, okay, wow, you're gonna be able to sell it because it's a skateboard. No one's ever seen one before. Kind of think of it like, imagine you go to a third world country and you bring a skateboard there. They'll be like, oh shit, this is sick. It's gonna be pretty easy to sell a skateboard. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is increasing the previous claims. So like basically, or like making that skateboard better. So like maybe making it a longboard, okay, or adding stronger benefits that resonate with people. And then stage 3 would be adding a unique mechanism. So this guy, what he did is he made the skateboard have a brake on it, so he was able to brake while skating. And so that's either stage 1 or 3 because you can basically argue that this is like a completely different product in itself and it's not necessarily a unique mechanism, but stage 3 is adding a unique mechanism to your product, right? Something that is completely differential from all the other products on the market. So like imagine you sell 10 white t-shirts, okay? You wouldn't know what white t-shirt to buy, right? If they were all the same thing, but if one of them was black, the black one would obviously stand out. You might even go ahead and buy the black one because it's differentiated. So that's stage 3. Stage 4, I'm gonna try and make sure I have this correctly, is I could be wrong here, so I'm kind of testing myself at the same time. It's increasing the claims of stage 3. So going deeper into it, I don't fully understand stage 4 if I can't explain it well. Maybe I'm not that I can't explain it, I'm just kind of forgetting what it is, to be honest. But most markets are in stage 3 to stage 4. And then there's stage 5, which is like the market doesn't even believe you. And the only way to actually sell your product is to give them a new identity. And that's why you kind of maybe once in a while see ads that barely ever show the product, or like the ad makes you feel really empowered because it tries to make you feel some kind of way, right? So it's kind of like the Rolex ad that they're climbing mountains and then going on Mount Everest and then going to the depths of the world and everything, and they have a Rolex on, right? You're like, oh, that's sick. So Yeah, and then also what happens with a lot of times is that when a product reaches stage 5, it eventually like re-enters this loop of a new mechanism gets added to the product, so it goes back to stage 3, and then it continues, and it goes back, and it continues, whatever. So yeah, that's sophistication levels, and then there's desires. So there's health, wealth, and I believe money. Maybe that was the other one, but health and wealth are the two that I'm very familiar with, and those are like the main desires. Those are permanent desires, and then there's also trendy desires, but I'm not interested in any of that. I'm only interested in the permanent or primary desires, maybe it's called. And basically you can determine the intensity of the desire by the intensity of the intensity of the problem that it solves, and the scope. So how big it is, right? How big of a problem is it? And so you can kind of think of this like they use in the course I was watching, like a plane. Would you rather have a tailwind or a headwind when you're flying? You'd rather have a tailwind, which means it pushes you forward. So if you have a really strong desire, it's just going to be infinitely easier to actually sell your product. So, and also, I don't know if I came up with this concept today, but I at least learned about it. It wasn't from them, but I was kind of like wondering, okay, why this desire? Like there's always a deeper rooted desire. So it's like maybe you're a 40-year-old mom who wants to lose the pregnancy weight. Okay, why do you want to lose the pregnancy weight? Because I want to be skinnier. I don't like the way I look. I'm not confident. Okay, why aren't you confident? It's like, okay, I have a lot of fat and I'm not confident just because I feel ugly. I don't feel sexy. It's like, okay, so maybe feeling sexy is the desire. Or maybe it's, I don't feel healthy. It's like, okay, being healthy is really what you want, and you want to lose weight to be healthy. So it's like laddering the desire and really diving deep down into what, someone says, like, when I want X, Y, and Z, I want to be in shape. Why do you want to be in shape? I want to look better. Why do you want to look better? I want to be sexier. I want girls to look at me and like my body, or I want to have a healthier physique so I have better organs, whatever, so I can live longer, right? So you can kind of ladder these desires. And then something that was interesting was that I also learned about was identification. And humans are very social animals. I was reading this thing from Harvard today where basically the TLDR of this, this is a concept I don't fully understand either, and I'm about to get into this into a second, but with identification, you kind of, when you're at the gym, you associate yourself with people who work out. You would probably drink a Gatorade because you're working out, and you want to drink an electrolyte drink because you're working out, and it kind of makes you feel like you're in the gym. You're a person who works out. You wouldn't associate yourself with a person who drinks beer. But even if you go to the gym and drink beer, but if you drink beer and you're drinking beer with your friends, you would probably associate yourself with someone who drinks beer, and you might want a cigarette because you're drunk, and you wouldn't really think about drinking a Gatorade. Just as, like, even if you're a Catholic, but you're at a Chicago Bears game, you probably are thinking more about the Chicago Bears and football than you would about being in church. And so identification is kind of like the visuals in the ad, who exactly you're selling to. You want to identify with them. So like if you're selling a product like Dr. Squatch, which is that nature deodorant, you kind of want to be in nature. You kind of want to look like a man with a beard who, you know what I mean? So that's the identification. And then all of what I just said now literally doesn't matter if you don't apply it, right? So I was learning today, not sitting there and watching the course. I had pen and paper ahead of me and writing down my understanding of it so that I can make videos and talk about it. Because you have to understand that I am kind of retarded, and the people that you watch videos from are also kind of retarded. We're not geniuses. None of us are super geniuses, bro. Unless you're like, even Alex Hormozy, he'd probably say that he's retarded. Like, you just get really good at that specific skill, and also you're able to talk really well, and also you have unlimited time to speak about it. Like most people, when they record a video, they have unlimited time to speak about it. So you might feel a little bit retarded when you're learning a new concept. So don't just sit down there with your Red Bull and, you know, watch the video and like with your feet on the table, bro. Like take notes so you understand it, so you can actually apply. You know, you have to like really do this as if your life is online. Like this is like ecom is your way out, you know? So that has to be the way you're approaching it, not chilling, relaxing, watching a course. And so when I was watching my videos today, I was like, oh shit, okay, like I really need to lock the fuck in. And I really understand it. I think that's gonna really help me make better ads. And so I found a product today, my buddy sent me it, and he said, hey, one of my, like someone I know is running this, you should compete. So I found the product, I launched ads, a lot of them got rejected. So I'm gonna have to figure that out tomorrow. I have to do more market research. But yeah, I'm basically gonna give every test like around a week. You know, there will be a few exceptions. You know, if I spend $100, $200 and it doesn't get a single add to cart, you know, I probably won't continue running it because that's really bad. But I'll probably spend like at least 500 to 1,000 on every single test to make sure, you know, I give it its proper test. Because this is like real ecom. You know, I'm not looking for profitability on the first sale long term. You know, I want to move into MRR, and I think supplements is a niche I really like because you can kind of create a unique mechanism and hit it a wholly different angle as long as the supplement actually solves that specific angle. So you're giving like 100 unique angles that you can just hit, and that's really powerful. So yeah, guys, that is the video. If you watch this video will be a really bad performing video, by the way, just because like literally check the views on this video, it'll be terrible because of the lighting in here. It'll be very bad. But yeah, guys, if you made it this far, some sauce, some of the stuff I learned, I want to keep doing videos like this where I like learn and put videos out. So yeah.